streets of Trinidad this morning, walking, photographing. We're in a group, a loose group. People are getting time to stop and take pictures where they see something interesting. Again, sun's starting to get bright. We started at 8 a.m., but you know, here in the tropical area, the sun's getting bright pretty quickly, but you can stick to the open shade and get some nice shots. Trinidad is really known for its colors. Most of these buildings are still painted or kept up, at least paint-wise, so there's just a lot of fantastic colors here. And the cobblestones, or I should say cobblestone streets. So I'm standing in the main square of Trinidad. The building behind me, the first level of it was built in the 1790s, but over here we've got a house, 1742, 1743. We're talking just 50 years after Columbus sailed. There's some serious history here as far as Americas go. Things don't get much older than that until you get down to those Aztec pyramids and Incas. Again, you know, I don't think I have a whole lot of photography tips here other than I'm, you know, watching for the hard shadow sun, trying to minimize photographing in that area, as you can see over here. Although there's that cool shadow right now of the lamp on the wall. So things like that are interesting, but for the most part, if I'm trying to capture the colors and textures, I'm sticking to the all shade side of the alleys. I'm also looking for patterns in the cobblestones and the bricks to pick up those pieces as well. And truthfully, I've been shooting almost all video for you guys. I haven't really shot too much stills because I get to come back here next week on the second tour. And I hope and plan to shoot more stills then. But even if I don't get a chance to, I'm okay with the video I'm shooting. All right, so we've made our way outside of Trinidad and we are at this former sugar plantation. Coming in, we came into a huge valley that was at one time home to hundreds of sugar plantations. That Cuba is not a big producer of sugar anymore. It's just a little bit on the expensive side. It's cheaper to get it from other places. So they've turned this into kind of a historic place, and they've got a tower to climb.
Recuerdo aquella vez en que te conocí. Recuerdo aquella tarde, pero no me acuerdo ni cuando te vi.
So the purpose of these towers was to survey your land and to show how wealthy you were. The taller the tower, the more you're worth. Pretty sweet view. Trinidad back that way somewhere.
Nada más te doy. Como no tengo fortuna, estas tres cosas te ofrezco: alma, corazón y vida y nada más. Alma para conquistarte, corazón para querer.
So it's about 7. We are back out on the streets. And when I say we, I mean a smaller section of the group. This is kind of an optional head out to shoot if folks want to. Otherwise, they have the afternoon to themselves. Yeah, it's a great spot to take a moment and talk a little bit about how these trips work, group, non-group wise. Prior to doing a trip like this, I didn't really think I loved the idea of group. I was one of those guys that'd be like, well, don't I always want to go left when the rest of the group is going right? Or don't I want to spend more time here when it's time to go someplace else? And it turns out that one of the things that the McKays do that I've experienced on these trips over the course of them is provide options and free time during the course of the trip so that you can go left, you can spend some time. And especially nice to go out, go shooting with somebody who has an amazing eye and can give you lots of tips and tricks and help you create some amazing images. And then later on in the afternoon, you have some time to go out on your own if you want, or go out again with a group, or sit at a bar and have a buccaneer. It's all up to you. So we've just come up this alley, and we've got this great old green car.
You want to see what they're doing in this too, just to
right
get a
here.
feel for what they're doing? You don't have to. It's kind of cool. You can still do it with a 24.
What are you showing right now, Dave?
I'm showing how, like, with a wide-angle lens or going wide, that the since the glass is doing this, and And a lot of times we don't want like arms getting big or things getting bigger in the corners of those lenses, but that we can play into that. So in this situation here, with this vehicle, getting in really close and giving it a sense of this, the perspective is wrong, but it makes it really cool because the perspective will get really, really big here and then follow back, and it can get really, really close to the car.
Alma para conquistarte, corazón para quererte y vida para vivirla.
Exaggerated that perspective. Really nice. Really, really nice. I would give a little more space just so you have a little room to crop both ways so you can always crop later. But you see how that's just coming right at you.
Beth is shooting with a full frame 17 to 40.
So you guys can do it even with
We've
the
got
24.
the other
It's just not
Beth
as
with a
accentuated,
Tokina
but it's still very, very possible.
and a Canon Rebel. And Sophie right there shooting with a Nikon, and she's also got the Tokina 11 to 16.
Very nice.
Maria's over there with her Nikon. Oh, which Nikon she's got? D some number 00. Ken's got a Rebel. Harvey's back there, and he's got the Canon 5DS.
So we can do the same thing. We may just have to step back a little bit.
Kendall shooting with a Rebel. And Julie is shooting with the new Canon 80D. We've probably been out for about an hour or so. Just so much to shoot here, as you've heard, in this town of Trinidad, if you forgot where we are. But let me show you the top of this building. Crazy stuff growing out of it, all run down. Kind of already spoiled it, but it's a bar. It's pretty fancy inside.
Alma, corazón y vida y nada más. Alma para...
So I thought as we wrap up our stay here in Trinidad at our Casa Particular, I'd take you on a quick tour upstairs of the kitchen and just show you, you basically can think of this as a bed and breakfast. We're staying in somebody's house. So I think that's been fascinating to be able to see how somebody in Trinidad lives. Somebody being Mary Louise. Kitchen. Sink. Little tap. Hot water.
Esto, el calentador de agua.
See.
Para el agua caliente de la ducha.
Shower. And when you wash dishes.
Sí,
Sí.
agua caliente.
Caliente. See. And lava laundry.
Lavadora.
Mm-hmm.
Ay, y planchar.
See. And then this is where we've been eating breakfast out here. And now, back to Havana.
We are going to go to the ballet school in the afternoon.
Yes.
And after the ballet school, we go to the hotel. You will be in the same place. And then at night, we are going to have the farewell dinner in the Vedado area. A nice restaurant. That's what it is for today.
Fortuna, estas tres cosas te ofrezco. Alma, corazón y vida y nada más.
Back in Havana, and our first stop is the National Ballet of Cuba rehearsals at their studio. We're in a room without any air conditioning. There's not even a sign of a fan. No rooms here have air conditioning. I'd estimate that it's close to 90 degrees and about 90% humidity. How would you like to practice ballet in those conditions? This is an old plantation converted into a ballet studio, rehearsal space, and briefly occupied by the U.S. Army in the early 1900s. So we're down in the courtyard area now, and a large group is practicing for a June performance. Quick check-in on the heat. The sun is out. We're in the shade, but it's over 90 degrees and very humid. No fans here either. What I love about our guide, we were just passing by where they're clearly setting up for some big performance right in the middle of the street. He wasn't sure what it is. Opened the door of the bus, talked to somebody right outside, figured it out without even really slowing down. So we're on our final night of the final tour group, and I just want to make sure that you all know that all of the knowledge I've been sharing with you has been because of our fantastic guide, Eliseo. You have been awesome and just full of knowledge about the country, about the government, anything that we might want to know. Or like we wanted a peso with Shay on it, you pulled out that for us, telling us how much we should spend on taxi rides, on food, helping us out when we overspend. So I wanted to thank you very much for that. And I also wanted a little bit of help from you in pronouncing, may I take a photo of you? Because as people come to Cuba, they should be asking nicely. So,
Muy bien, muy bien. ¿Puedo tomarte una foto, por favor?
gracias. So thank you.
My pleasure.
And just like that, 3 weeks in Cuba is done. I'm standing here in a hotel room in Miami. We are going back. October 2017 is the rough plan. I'll put a link right down below where you can put your information in if you are interested in being on the list to know when that is officially released and could come along with us. Cuba was an amazing place. And I didn't even actually vlog from the second trip. There's the Fábrica de Arts Center we went to on the second trip, which was awesome. The coolest art gallery I've ever been in. It serves really good big mojitos. So plus the one at dinner, I'm feeling pretty good. But that's not influencing my decision of how awesome this art gallery is. Watching that storm roll in over the sugar plantation valley. Big storm. Snorkeling in Bay of Pigs. So there were some amazing moments on the second trip that I didn't share with you all, other than those brief glimpses you just had. If you want to see my favorite pictures from the trip, you should be following me on Instagram. I've been posting them, and I'll be posting some more. I'll also put up a gallery soon of additional photos, and you can, of course, find all that on the Facebook page. If you enjoyed these videos, take a moment to give them a thumbs up. I have one more Cuba kind of photography tips video coming soon. And until then, goodbye. Thanks for watching.